back roads of upstate New York, an unfamiliar traveler would be hard-pressed to find a local without hands of leather. Hard work is a way of life in these small towns, where a handshake is still a binding contract. These real American pit stops are the backbone of this country. And it's all Nikki Boxler has ever known. Growing up on a dairy farm outside of Buffalo, Nikki grew accustomed to sweat on the brow and mud on the boots. It was never an option to shy away from the chores necessary to keep the farm running. She learned how to do things the right way from Dad and Grandpa, as so many small-town kids did. Nikki may have always been their little princess, but trust when I say this is no Cinderella story. Don't be fooled by her beauty, charm, and grace. She's most at peace in the wild places, the types of places where if the air doesn't smell like sweet honeysuckle, it smells of spent gunpowder. Yes, Nikki Boxler is the all-American girl, willing to pit her skills against any man or woman in the field. The farm life has done more than instill an unmatched work ethic in Nikki. It's instilled a confidence to take on any challenge, on any hunt, on any given day. It's autumn in the Southwest, and Nikki Boxler has just arrived to the quaint town of Quemado, New Mexico. The landscape is much different than the outskirts of Buffalo, but the simple ways of the everyday townspeople quickly remind her of home. It's a quiet land where the elk outnumber the people by a long shot. She's arrived to the plains to chase after a bugler of her own. Just like any small town, Quemado has that one corner store that anchors the community and ties everything together. Around these parts, it's the country store, owned by the one and only Carlton Armstrong.
I've owned the store since '85. My parents owned it for 20 years prior to that. I really did enjoy the people. I think that's the best part of this thing is the people. People really enjoy coming in and looking at this stuff. You know, this county is about 7,000 square miles. And there's about 3,500 people here, and I imagine there's about 50 or 60,000 elk. So I think we have a pretty appropriate elk to human ratio for this county, and human to square mile ratio as far as that goes. It's just it's a tough place to make a living, and I'm glad we have animals here in elk, and we're able to do what we do with folks like you. Small towns in America are having a hard time making it, so we're losing a few people, Nikki. But hunters have been a big part of our being able to stay here. Hunters are the biggest industry in Catherine County, so we really count on hunters. It's been a great season. We've had great success. A lot of happy hunters, great experiences, and that's the main thing we're after, is to provide good experience for hunters and see. Just to get those close-up personal encounters.
Winchester Life is brought to you by Winchester Repeating Arms, Walker's Ear and Eye Protection, Birchwood Casey, Winchester Safes, Folds of Honor, Winchester Pet, White Flyer, America's Best, and by Winchester Ammunition, the American legend. This segment of Winchester Life is brought to you by Folds of Honor, providing life-changing scholarships to families of fallen or disabled military and first responders. Winchester Pet. And by White Flyer, America's Best.
It's our first morning out in New Mexico. I'm gonna go after some elk. It's a little chillier than I thought it was gonna be, so it's gonna warm up quick though. So hopefully we can get after them. Looking for some elk, and we haven't seen any yet, but we spotted some mule deer off in the distance. About 900 yards away, but man, are they beautiful. Towards the top of the hill a little more. That's one, right? Yeah. Yeah. My spot. Let's go. Good spot, girl. Thank you. We just sat down to glass on the hill and we spotted some elk far off in the distance, probably about a mile away. Every once in a while, I can see his horns move, but I can't tell how big he is. He looked decent from a mile away.
At over a mile away, this bull gets a free pass, for now. Nikki and her guide Ramon decide to pass the midday lull with lunch. They'll continue their pursuit this evening.
We just got back to the truck. It's been a good morning. We saw some mule deer, some elk, so it's getting hot. We're gonna go grab lunch now and we'll head back out tonight. See how New Mexico treats us.
High noon has passed. Nikki Boxler and her guide Ramon are back in the field, readying themselves and their gear for the golden hour.
Just got set up on the valley. We heard some bugles over this way, so we just set up, and there's some bulls off in the distance. There's a real big bull over there, shooter. So Ramon says we better get going if we want to try to get a shot on him.
Nikki and Ramon charge forward carefully until they close the gap enough to let the 270 go to work.
Take your time. The cows are gonna move. He's gonna walk up.
Good shot. Got him. You feel? Oh, God. Let's walk up to you. Hey, girl.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. Oh, he's awesome. Oh, thank you so much. Oh my God. My first elk. Oh my gosh, I know, it paid off. I'm like sweating from head to toe. Oh my gosh.
This segment of Winchester Life is brought to you by Walkers, Birchwood Casey, and by Winchester Safes.
Shooting him. Where you want him? Hold on. Ready? Just like that. That's a big buck. That's a big buck on opening morning of Missouri gun season. That deer just dropped like a sack of potatoes. That is a new bullet by Winchester deer season, and that is the first deer to ever get shot by it, and he died right there. Yes. What an unbelievable setup. We're getting ready to shoot an interview and open it up. I've had 2 bucks come through. We're gonna open it up, and I look right behind Lee, and here comes a doe, and that big boy standing right behind him. All I know is he's an old buck, he's a shooter, game on, here we go. Whew. Man, that is awesome. Opening day of Missouri, Winchester hunt. I am in like the most gorgeous place I've ever hunted in my life in Missouri. Tippy tippy, straight down, dropped him. Oh man, what a buck. I mean, he didn't have a prayer. He gone. He didn't have a prayer. He, straight down. I mean, what an unbelievable buck.
Someone go and get the fuzz. Bobby's got a shotgun. That smoking bomb last been seen.
What a buck. Look at this old guy. Oh, just an old buck. Man. Oh, he's exactly what I thought he was going to be. Just a big old 8. Look at that. Look at that. Big G2s, bigger G3s, which is crazy. Winchester Deer Season XP, copper impact. That's proof right there. Dropped right in his tracks. What an amazing buck. I had bucks all over me this morning, one of the most gorgeous spots I've ever hunted in my life. So, Missouri gun opener comes to a close just as fast as it opened. This old beast right here, look at him. Wow, what a big body. Cool buck.
This segment of Winchester Life is brought to you by Winchester Ammunition, the American legend, and by Winchester Repeating Arms. The Lone Star State, where the bulls are the only thing bigger than the skyline. A state that some consider the birthplace of today's modern-day whitetail management practices. Paul Sawyer is down on the ranch in search of a southern giant. He's boxed into the blind with high expectations.
We're in the panhandle of Texas. We're hunting again with my longtime friend Steve Proviance. Steve is a real estate agent for whitetail properties in Oklahoma. Steve pulled a card this morning, and one of the bucks on top of the hit list named J-Hook was here at 5:30 this morning. So with any luck, he'll show up here again tonight, and we'll get it done on the first go round.
Down here, the deer don't have the fields to themselves. Coyotes run rampant through the region, preying on vulnerable fawns and other valued game. It's a cutthroat world in the wild. The Texan deer herds have grown accustomed to the coyote's presence, but accustomed is a long way from comfortable. Keen senses call for deer to check their sixes often. The tall grass doesn't stretch long enough to conceal the biggest Texas tines. The coyotes prowl, bobbing, weaving, waiting for one deer to come one step too close. A new buck is making his way toward Paul. He's several hundred yards out, and at this point, he's nameless. He's not J-Hook. He's not Stickers. And by this discerning hunter's standards, he doesn't make the cut. So he's not going to be greeted by Deer Season XP tonight. He's young and yet to earn a spot on Paul's roster. These are the tough decisions that need to be made in order to reap the biggest rewards. The predator has returned, determined to make his presence known inside this prairie, but he's out of bounds. The dog won't be getting the treat tonight.
Yeah, no question, that's a shooter. We're gonna shoot him. I can't tell if I think that might be that sticker buck. That buck they call J-Hook.
As darkness begins to fill the big sky, a big buck fills the frame. He's a shooter, and he's earned himself a name.
Watch him. He just went down right there. Can you believe that? 2 bucks in a row last night. Yesterday afternoon we killed a big 9 in Oklahoma. We haven't even been here for, man, I can't believe we haven't even been here for 3 hours. And we just killed, that is a big northern Texas 8. That's a buck they call J-Hook. And that deer is 6.5 or 7.5 years old. He's got a J-Hook on his left side, a sticker. He's got split brows. Man, that buck had me tore up. That is a great buck. Boom! Belly right there. And he didn't go
He didn't go 20 yards. I don't even know how he got that far. Look at that. Old deer season put a wall by and he's already stiff. This is a buck that they call J-hook. Look at that Roman nose, big old body Texas deer. This is a 5.5-year-old buck. They know him real well. They call him J-hook for this little kicker he's got right here. He's a main frame 8. Man, he looks so good coming in. And you know what the craziest thing is we just got here. I mean, we probably haven't even been here in Texas for 4 hours. Killed a great buck last night, yesterday afternoon in Oklahoma, and jumped across the border here to Texas. Just crazy. There's a really good chance I'll never have a rifle season like this again in my life. I've hunted a combined total of 7 days and killed 3 5-year-old bucks. It's happened, but it still hasn't sunk in. And the one common thread was the performance of the deer season XP. Every buck that I shot with them didn't go 20 yards. And to be able to count on that kind of performance, that is priceless. And this is Winchester life.